Welcome. Let's take a quiet moment and step back in time. Do you remember the world as it was? A world of handwritten letters, of party-line telephones, of black and white television sets, where entire families gathered to watch a man walk on the moon for the very first time. You have lived through the birth of the internet, the satisfying crackle of a dial-up modem connecting, and its transformation into this invisible, ever-present force that connects us all today. You have seen history unfold, not in textbooks, but with your own eyes. To be in your 70s or 80s today is to be a living bridge between worlds. It is to hold a library of experiences, wisdom, and resilience that younger generations can only read about. But sometimes, in a world that moves so fast, a world obsessed with what's new and what's next, it can be easy to feel like your chapter is fading into the background. It's easy to ask, in all this noise, does my story still matter? Do I still have a vital role to play? My answer to that is an emphatic, resounding yes, more than ever. Or then, today, we are not here to talk about a checklist for a long life. That is a shallow goal. We are here to do something far more important. We are here to hold up a mirror that reflects back the incredible strength, wisdom, and character that define a life well lived in this modern age. We will explore 8 pillars, not of aging, but of profound, vibrant living. This is not a test to pass or fail. This is a private, personal inventory. It's a chance to acknowledge and celebrate the solid foundations you have built in your life, and perhaps to see where a little mortar could strengthen the walls. So please get comfortable, and let's begin this journey of reflection together. The first pillar, the dignity of physical autonomy. The first, and perhaps most foundational pillar, is the dignity that comes from physical autonomy. We often take it for granted in our youth, but in our 7th and 8th decades, it reveals itself as one of life's most precious treasures. This is not about being an athlete or being free from the aches and pains that a long life bestows. It is about something far more fundamental. It's the quiet confidence of knowing you can rise from your own bed in the morning, walk to your own kitchen, and prepare your own cup of coffee, just the way you like it. It's the simple freedom of being able to bathe and dress yourself, to manage your own home, and to not have to depend on someone else for your most basic personal needs. This self-reliance is the bedrock of a dignified life. It allows your relationships to be built on a foundation of love and choice, not necessity and obligation. But what if your body has presented you with challenges? What if a chronic illness, an old injury, or simply the weight of years has limited your mobility? It is here that we discover a deeper form of autonomy, the independence of spirit. If you can no longer cook every meal, the strength lies in still being the one who decides the menu. If you need help getting dressed, the power lies in choosing your own clothes for the day. True autonomy is not just about what your body can do. It's about your mind remaining the captain of your own ship. It's about gracefully accepting a helping hand without ever relinquishing the helm. This pillar is about a sacred partnership with your body, thanking it for what it can do and cleverly and gracefully adapting to what it cannot. The second pillar, the fortress of a discerning mind. The second pillar is the fortress of a clear and discerning mind. In an age of information overload, our minds are constantly under siege. This is especially true for seniors, who are often seen as prime targets for those who wish to take advantage. The scams are endless. The urgent phone calls about a supposed grandchild in trouble, the emails promising untold riches, the high-pressure salespeople pushing miracle cures or risky financial products. A sharp, discerning mind is your shield and your fortress. It's the wisdom to recognize that if something sounds too good to be true, it almost certainly is. It's the inner voice that says, "Let me think about that." Or, "I'll need to discuss this with my family first." It's the confidence to hang up the phone, to delete the email, to close the door without feeling rude. This isn't cynicism, it's wisdom in action. It's the understanding that you are the sole guardian of your peace of mind and your life's savings. Protecting this fortress requires active maintenance. It means staying engaged. It means challenging your brain not just with crosswords or Sudoku, but with learning. Perhaps it's learning to play a new card game like bridge, diving into a documentary series on a topic you know nothing about, or even trying a few words of a new language on an app. A mind that is curious, engaged, and healthily skeptical is a mind that is strong. It remains a fortress, protecting the treasure of your well-being within. The third pillar, the freedom of financial security. The third pillar is the quiet freedom that financial security provides. Let us be clear, this is not about being wealthy. It is not about lavish vacations or expensive possessions. It is about something far more profound, the absence of a specific kind of fear. It is the peace that comes from knowing the bills are paid, there is food in the refrigerator, and you will not be a financial burden to your children. This pillar is about the dignity of being able to treat your grandchild to an ice cream cone without having to ask for the money. It's about being able to replace a broken appliance without it causing a family crisis. It's about the ability to make choices, however small, without the looming shadow of financial dependence. In our culture, where independence is so highly valued, having your own resources, whether from a pension, social security, careful savings, or a paid-for home, is a cornerstone of emotional well-being. If your finances are a source of stress, please know you are not alone, and it is not a reflection of your worth. For you, the strength of this pillar is found in resourcefulness and a lack of shame in seeking the help you have earned. It means contacting your local area agency, on aging or AARP, to see what benefits you are eligible for. It means creating a budget, no matter how small, and taking pride in managing it well. Financial freedom, at its core, is about control. And taking control, even in challenging circumstances, is an act of immense power and self-respect. The fourth pillar, the wisdom of empathetic communication. The fourth pillar is one of the most subtle, yet most powerful, the wisdom of empathetic communication. As we accumulate decades of experience, it can be tempting to believe we have all the answers. We've seen it all, done it all. It can be easy to fall into patterns of giving unsolicited advice, of recounting stories of how things used to be, or of complaining about the state of the world today. But the elders who are most cherished, most sought after for their company, are those who have mastered a higher form of communication. They have traded the need to be right for the desire to understand. They listen more than they speak. They ask questions instead of making pronouncements. They offer a safe harbor of stable, unconditional love, rather than a running commentary of judgment and anxiety. Think of it this way. Your children and grandchildren are navigating a world that is, in many ways, more complex and stressful than the one you grew up in. What they need from you is not another critic or another source of pressure. They need an anchor. They need a quiet, confident presence that reminds them they are loved and capable. When you can provide that stable emotional value, you become indispensable. You become the wise elder whose counsel is sought, not just tolerated. This is the shift from being an aging parent to becoming a treasured patriarch or matriarch. The fifth pillar, the lifeline of deep connection. The fifth pillar is the lifeline of deep, meaningful human connection. We humans are social creatures to our very core. While solitude can be peaceful, isolation is a poison. In our later years, the strength of our social bonds is one of the most significant predictors of both our happiness and our longevity. For many, the primary source of this connection is a spouse, a partner who has walked beside you through decades of joy and sorrow. To have that person still by your side is an immeasurable gift, a shared language of history and heart that no one else can fully understand. But this pillar is far wider than a single person. If you have lost your spouse, or if you have walked your path alone, this lifeline is woven from other threads. It is the weekly phone call with a sibling. It's the coffee date with a group of dear friends who have known you for 40 years. It's the bond you share with a neighbor over the garden fence. It's the delight you feel when your child or grandchild calls you just to say hello. These relationships do not maintain themselves. They require tending. They require reaching out, making the call, sending the text, suggesting the lunch. It requires being vulnerable enough to say, "I miss you." In a world that can feel increasingly disconnected, actively nurturing your lifeline of relationships is one of the most important jobs you have. It is the work that fills your life with laughter, support, and the irreplaceable feeling of belonging. The sixth pillar, the vitality of lifelong curiosity. The sixth pillar is the vibrant energy of a curious mind. There is a dangerous myth that learning is only for the young. The truth is, the moment we stop being curious is the moment we begin to grow old in spirit. The world is in a constant state of flux, and while that can be daunting, it is also a thrilling invitation to remain a student of life. This doesn't mean you need to enroll in a university course unless you want to. It can be much simpler. It is the act of picking up a book on a historical event you lived through but never fully understood. It is watching a nature documentary and marveling at the wonders of the planet. It is asking your grandchild to patiently show you, one more time, how to share a photo on your smartphone. Embracing technology, even in small ways, is a powerful act of curiosity. Learning to pay a bill online, to order groceries for delivery, or to video chat with a relative in another state are not just conveniences. They are declarations that you are still an active, capable participant in the modern world. Every new skill you learn, every new fact you acquire, builds new pathways in your brain. It keeps you sharp, it keeps you relevant, and most importantly, it keeps life interesting. A curious person is never bored, and a person who is never bored possesses a truly youthful spirit, no matter their chronological age. The seventh pillar, the purpose of passion and play. The seventh pillar is the profound sense of purpose that comes from passion and play. For many decades, your identity may have been tied to your role as a professional, a provider, a parent. When retirement comes, the sudden absence of that structure can leave a significant void. While being a doting grandparent is a beautiful and vital role, it is crucial to have something that is exclusively, unapologetically yours. This is where we rediscover the lost art of play. Play is not frivolous, it is essential. It is any activity that you lose yourself in, where time seems to melt away. For one person, it may be the quiet focus of painting a watercolor. For another, it's the thrill of a fish tugging on the line. It might be the satisfaction of coaxing tomatoes from the soil in your garden, the challenge of a complex jigsaw puzzle, the joy of singing in a community choir, or the strategic thrill of a weekly card game. These passions are what get you out of bed in the morning with a sense of anticipation. They give your days a rhythm and a purpose that is independent of anyone else's needs. They remind you that you are still a creator, a strategist, a nurturer, a competitor. To be a playful old person is a wonderful aspiration. It signifies a lightness of being, a refusal to take oneself too seriously, and a deep understanding that joy is a nutrient for the soul. The eighth pillar, the grace of an expansive heart. We arrive at the eighth and final pillar. It is the capstone on a life of wisdom, the grace of an expansive heart. It is said that as we age, we can either soften or harden. We can become more set in our ways, more rigid in our opinions, more focused on the slights of the past. Or we can do the opposite. We can choose to expand. An expansive heart is one that has made peace with imperfection, in the world, in others, and most importantly, in oneself. It is a heart that has let go of the need to compare. It does not measure its own children against the children of others. It does not envy a neighbor's good fortune. It understands the profound truth that comparison is the thief of joy. This grace manifests as a quiet generosity of spirit. It is the ability to forgive old wounds, not for the other person's sake, but for your own, to unburden your soul from carrying that weight. It is the capacity to find something to be grateful for every single day, even on the difficult days. It is a conscious choice to focus on the love that surrounds you, rather than the disappointments that may have befallen you. An expansive heart lives in the present moment, treats each day as the gift that it is, and radiates a quiet peace that makes others feel calm in its presence. It is the ultimate achievement of a life fully lived. So there we have them. The 8 pillars: physical autonomy, a discerning mind, financial security, empathetic communication, deep connection, lifelong curiosity, passionate play, and an expansive heart. As you look in that mirror of reflection, perhaps you saw yourself standing strong in all 8 areas. Perhaps you saw a few pillars that are unshakable and a few that could use some attention. The result does not matter. The act of reflection is what holds the power. These pillars are not a final destination. They are a living framework, a symphony that you conduct every single day. Your legacy is not simply the money you leave behind or the possessions you accumulate. Your true legacy is the wisdom you embody. It is the strength you model, the love you give, the stories you tell, and the peace you cultivate within yourself. That is the inheritance that will echo through generations. And now, I have a request for you. This is a community of wisdom, and your voice is essential to it. Of these 8 pillars we discussed, which one are you most proud of in your own life? Or which one do you feel inspired to focus on this coming week? Take a moment and share your thought in the comments section below. We read every single one, and your experience could be the very thing someone else needs to hear today, and our journey together doesn't have to end here. If you found the pillar on maintaining a sharp mind especially interesting, we have created a follow-up video just for you. It's called 5 Simple Brain Exercises to Keep Your Mind Sharp After 70. You should see a thumbnail for it on your screen right now. Go ahead and click on that video, and let's continue to explore how to make this chapter of life the most vibrant one yet. Thank you for the honor of your time. Live well.